Manus AI, this new one-click AI agent from China is absolutely insane. It's like having an army of robots on caffeine. Now, if, for example, you wanted a website, boom, you can build it now in one click. What, you want a custom-built SaaS product deployed and built in one click? No problem. Let's do that too. You can see that build right here. Maybe you just want to build out a website that used to take hours and hours to build and it looks better than your original site. Okay, great. We've done that right here. Maybe you want to create local SEO directories. Boom shakalaka. You can see we've built that using Manus and deployed it to a subdomain with a clear CTA as well. And if you want ChatGPT to do that, well, good luck. I'll show you what that means later. This is easily the closest thing I've seen to AGI. In fact, it's probably better than most humans at that point, because what human could just take a single prompt, for example, create and deploy the best, most useful tool you can for my SEO agency called the agency. This is for lead generation, and then just goes off, builds it and deploys it in minutes, and it works beautifully, like you can see right here. Show me another human on the planet who can do that this quickly without AI. So let's get into it. First off, we're going to start off with understanding why Manus AI is different from any other AI agent out there and how to get started with it. Let's go. So you might be wondering, okay, what's different, right? So number one, if we have a look at the benchmarks, Manus is performing better on the GA/IA benchmarks versus all the other agents on the marketplace. Number two, it can actually, it's much more advanced, right? So it can, for example, like interact with live websites, which Grok, for example, can't. So if you tell, for example, like Grok to log into Twitter, or if you ask, DeepSeek to log into Twitter, it actually can't, right? Number three, you can deploy websites on a subdomain directly, right? So for example, DeepSeek, Grok 3, they can't deploy websites directly on the subdomain, whereas Manus can. Also, if you compare it to something like ChatGPT, well, ChatGPT doesn't do the same tasks at the same level. So let's go back to that chat where we were looking previously on ChatGPT. If we go into ChatGPT here, and we'll pull this example up, all right? So this is what we get back if we say to ChatGPT, research Julian Goldie, then build and deploy the best possible website you can about him. That's what you get back. If you go over to Manus and we see the output from them, and we open up this subdomain, that's what you get back from Manus, right? So which output would you rather have? That one from ChatGPT, where it's just a block of text and it's not actually completed the task that we wanted to, aka building a website, or this one where you've got a full website with multiple pages deployed on a subdomain and ready to be hosted on a custom domain, right? The difference is huge. And then also, it's a lot more sort of independent and autonomous. And what I mean by that, for example, is like, if ChatGPT comes across a problem, it's not going to solve it for you. You have to give it directions and you have to give it prompts to figure that out. Whereas if, for example, you have a problem inside Manus, it's just going to problem solve everything for you, right? So if it encounters a problem, it's like, it's okay, but we're just going to go off and figure that out ourselves, right? And so that's the biggest difference here. It's like, if it encounters a problem, it problem solves for you. If ChatGPT encounters a problem, it just gives up and doesn't give you any more outputs. SM says, how about academic research and writing a narrative or systematic review for use of antidepressants in autoimmune diseases? I think you could, but honestly, I stray away from using AI for medical stuff. And the reason for that is because I haven't seen Manus do this, but quite often AI agents, they can hallucinate, right? And you just don't want to give medical information or leverage medical information for stuff like that. So it's not that powerful. And Viresh says, please give us a link to the free version. So if you join the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description, then you go to SOPs, and then you go to Manus AI. Number one, you've got all the links there. And number two, you've got until this license is available for everyone, you can use the open sourced version of Manus right here. And the open source version of Manus, Open Manus, I've included like setup instructions and also a full SOP, right? So there's full setup instructions inside there directly. So yeah, pretty wild here. Let's see what else we got. Josen says, super interesting stuff. Eldest Slab says, Manus is literally just browser use with Claude. I wouldn't agree with that because, for example, browser use with Claude is kind of limited, right? So when I've tested it out, it gets stuck at a lot of places and it can't perform all the tasks you want to, whereas this is more autonomous. The other thing that I would say is like with Manus, it it can use the terminal directly, which, Claude is not going to use. And then number two, it can actually deploy websites to subdomains, which Claude can't do, right? Now, Manus is using Claude to set it up and create outputs, but it's using it in a smarter way where it can create downloadable files, it can deploy to subdomains, it can connect to the internet. So it is very different in multiple ways. And the other thing as well is like Claude computer use, quite often it gets stuck or it gives up, right? And then it stops responding. Last time I used it anyway. Whereas, for example, Manus seems to be able to do it in a way where the AI just keeps going over and over again. Akram says it's crazy what can be done with one prompt. Where's the website hosted right now? So it's hosted at manus.space. And then if you want to host it on Netlify, you just deploy it to Netlify and you get a custom domain inside the domain management section. Can you create a solid project with it? Absolutely. I mean, for example, if we have a look at this example right here, this is a solid project. There's no edits that I would make to this, apart from just actually adding my image, not this person's image. But apart from that, this is all good to go, right? None of the information here is hallucinated either. Like, this is actually based on real information on the web. So it's created a full project, it's created a website, it's done all the research, it's good to go. To get access to Manus, you would just join the AI Profit Boardroom and you can set up Open Manus, because right now you can't get access to Manus directly. It requires an invitation code. And from what I've seen, I've not seen any invitation codes go out to the public for the last couple of days. The only invitation codes that I've seen have gone out to influencers. For example, I've seen a couple of other YouTubers who got access to this, and I just got access to it last night through their team. But yeah, I mean, even if you look at, for example, like the way that this website is designed, this is all about, how we scale with agents, etc. You can see that it's super powerful, right? In the way that it's been laid out, the charts that it's built, etc. The AI agent evolution timeline. But yeah, really cool stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Viresh asks, can I learn React, AWS, and develop ops from scratch by using Manus? I think you could, absolutely, because you could just go back and forth inside the chat. You can ask it for help, etc. And yeah, I don't see any issues with that. Also going to deploy this tool that we just built, the SEO Lead Generator app. So we'll see what happens next on that. So that's nearly done. And you can also see here, it's getting on pretty well with the plan on collecting information for the stock analysis. But yeah, pretty wild. And Akram says, can it build bigger sites like directories or maybe clone sites like Airbnb or a social media platform? I think it could, because what you can do, for example, is you could go into a new session and you could say, okay, create a full directory for local SEO sites where you list, and you list juliangoldie.com and his agency, Julian Goldie Agency, as the best SEO agency in every area, right? Optimize each page to a different keyword for SEO, e.g. best local SEO agency Manchester. Make sure the directory is very comprehensive and it's a big website. So you could do something like that, right? That would be the prompt that I would use. You can also, for example, this is a tool inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Let me find this for you. That's super powerful, right? So for example, we can go, because you want to improve the prompts that you create and not just go with the basic ones. So in this situation, what we can do, for example, is we can go onto this tool, Prompt Forge. It's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And we'll say, okay, improve this prompt so it's the best it can be in terms of prompting an AI agent to create a website. Make sure it's a prompt. And then it will just go off and do its magic, right? We'll come back to that in a second. Yeah, so you can see here, for example, we've got the full prompt. This is inside the AI Profit Boardroom if you want to get access to the free tool. But using that prompt right there, we can actually take that, go into Manus, replace the prompt that we had, and then we can say, okay, just go off and do that, right? And it'll just go off and start doing its magic. So it's like, right, I'm going to help you create a comprehensive local SEO directory website that features Julian Goldie and Goldie Agency as the top SEO agency across multiple locations. I'll work on developing a well-structured, scalable website. We've optimized content for each location, proper schema markup, and all the technical SEO elements you've requested. Let me get started straight away, right? And yeah, I think that will create like a pretty comprehensive website, honestly. Like if you look at this one, usually if you get an AI agent to build out a website, like the content on each page is really, really thin. Whereas if you look at this, let's check, for example, like the About Me page. If we check the About Me page, we count the words on there. It's like it's created 500 words just on this one single page. And so it could easily scale up a nicely designed website like this, and then you can deploy that wherever you want to. So yeah, pretty wild right there. You could create full directories, whatever you want. Jermaine says, can it act as your personal assistant? Log into your accounts online. Yeah, it actually can, right? So for example, if we created like a new Twitter page, it would actually be able to go off and just start posting content on that page, I think, right? I'm tempted to test a new example, right? So if we go into, let's create a new page for Twitter. All right. So I'm going to create an account here. Let's see if we can create one with email. So we'll use email instead. Let's test this out. So I'm just going to put Julian here, the month, the day, etc. We'll plug this in and we'll create this new page here. Move the person to the right seat. All right. Use the arrow to move the person to the direct indicated seat. Ah, I see. Wow, we have to create Twitter is not easy to sign up with, right? So I'm going to create a test account on Twitter and we can see what it does. Oh, we have to do... Oh, I can't be bothered with that. But yeah, you could make it go off and just create like Twitter accounts for you if you wanted to. So I'm not going to do that because it seems like the authentication and everything takes too long. But essentially you could do that. What else we got here? Could it reprogram an old text-based game? I think it could. I mean, like any sort of coding challenges, it seems to be absolutely amazing on that. Could it create an online dropshipping website? Let's test this out. So we'll go over to Manus again and we'll test this bad boy out. Oh, we've got the SEO tool deployed as well. Look at that. Beautiful. It's got a few errors on it, but yeah, we've got the website deployed right here. It's got a nice little dashboard for lead generation. We can import leads. I mean, there's definitely a few errors there, right? But it's working nicely. I mean, I really like the UI there. Let's have a look at some of these other pages. Yeah, a lot of 404s there. So I think when you're building out with this, you definitely want to like just quality test it. Let's test this out now. So we're going to type in, yes, it's kind of like a lead generation platform where you can just manage all your leads. You can see what's happening here. You can search through them, score, status, actions, company, etc. Pretty cool. Let's click on view, see what happens there. Yeah, still a few errors in there. So this one wasn't perfect, but still, I mean, for a tool you build in literally like one click, not bad at all. And then you just go back and iterate it, right? All right, let's go back to Manus and we're going to say, right, create a profitable dropship store with all necessities, e.g. find the niche, build the site, arrange the shipping, etc. I don't think it's going to be very good at finding the shipping because that's going to involve interaction with other people, but it could do everything else, right? So you can find the niche, build the website, create the content, etc. Now it's creating the SEO directory website, which is pretty nice. Google Trends is still going back with. I think that's quite a complicated one for it to interact with because it's using other APIs from Google Trends and everywhere else. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Can it manage a Telegram channel as an admin or moderator? I don't think it'd be very good for moderating the Telegram channel simply because it's not going to be live all the time, right? But what it could do is it could create like a automated, I bet it could create like N8N agent workflows if you wanted to. If you had all the integrations plugged in, and then from there, you could actually build like a Telegram agent that just goes off and builds stuff for you, right? Or it looks like we've reached the daily usage limit right there during the beta testing period. So that's pretty much all we're going to get out of this. But that's cool. I mean, I'm happy with everything we did. So fair enough. We've run through a lot of things. Could you create a mental health app, fam? Man, absolutely, I think you could. Right? I don't see any issues with that. Don't think there's going to be any worries there. So, just to recap here, we've done a 30-day trip for Manus right here. So it's come up with like the activities, the attractions, the dining options, super comprehensive. It went off and created a full presentation on Manus AI agents and how they're going to change the world, etc., which is pretty cool, right? You can see that deployed right here. Really good stuff. We even created the charts, did all the research, connected to the web, and deployed and coded the site itself. It created a full SaaS software, like you can see right here, with dummy data for leads, nice UI, a discovery process for finding more leads, a section for managing your leads, etc., and even a sign-in option. It created a full website and personalized it to me. So it went off, did all the research, found information about me, who I am, etc. And then additionally, what else did it do? So it created an SEO local directory, like you can see, and it's still building that out, which is pretty cool. It deployed this SEO tool, and it's used Google Trends data to analyze reports. In fact, we've got the report back right here. So you can see, for example, it's done the Google Trends and stock market correlation analysis report with an executive summary, collected all the data, analyzed the data, and then found like positive trends. So for example, S&P 500 search interest versus Amazon stock price, the Federal Reserve search interest versus Microsoft stock price. That's really comprehensive right there. And also it can create files and then you can download the files as well. Right? Also, it creates really nice charts. Has it actually created these charts? That's crazy. Yeah, key visualizations. So you can also visualize data for you, which is super interesting. Not going to pretend I know what all of this means, but, that's why we've got AI agents thinking for us now. And it looks like we're getting back the SEO directory right here. Yeah, I think this is definitely using Claude. I want to see what else as well other people are doing with Manus on Twitter. I can't be the only one showing off the skills. So let's have a look what we got on Twitter as well right here. It is unbelievable. I mean, like if you haven't seen this already, right, I'm just going to mute the page. This is an AI controlling 50 different screens at once. This is Manus AI, right? So it's logging into Twitter, it's messaging people over here. It's like interacting with mobiles, etc. It's pretty wild what it can do, and it's doing all of that on one single page. Unbelievable. If you compare this to ChatGPT, DeepSeek, anything else, it's so much better. And the reason is, like, even if it is just using Claude as the API, the reason is it's just so much more free in terms of what it can do and how it can integrate with stuff, right? So instead of, like, for example, having to set up Claude computer use agent yourself or deploy it and then figure out how to code on terminal, which, let's be honest, 99% of people are never going to be able to do. This makes one-click AI agents way more discoverable and way more available for everyone on the internet, right? So even if you have no idea what you're doing, and that's basically the mass market, right? The mass market, billions of people out there who don't understand how to code or don't have any technical skills, this makes AI agents available for them, right? And so how is the world going to change when everyone on the planet has access to this? That's what's scary, right? And I don't think people realize that. Whereas, for example, everyone has access to Claude browser use, but not everyone knows how to set it up or how to use terminal or how to code or, how to get past all the coding errors that come up, right? Here's another example. So someone created like a plane. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So someone said code a 3JS game where you control a plane, and then they just built this out right here. That is absolutely wild. And again, it can use terminal for you. So you don't need to use terminal, which is crazy stuff. Can analyze stocks. We've already shown that. It can plan 2-month trips. I've already shown that with the Manhattan one. Let's have a look at this one. This is super interesting. So yeah, it can create really nice visualizations of data as well. And yeah, this is the closest thing I've seen to AGI. I wonder where it comes out on in terms of the AGI tests, but it's pretty wild. Yeah. The other thing I would say is like, imagine if you gave this to all of your team, right? Imagine if your whole team had access to something like this. Couldn't they achieve so much more? For example, if every single member of your team or every single member of your business had access to something like this, and they essentially have their own department of AI agents that can just go off, create content, create code, and all of a sudden your whole business, if you train them on how to use this stuff, can scale way, way faster. Way faster. Here's another example: create 4 weeks of content in 2 minutes. This is unbelievable. I mean, that website that we created, like, I remember when I had to code websites myself and build them out, like, that would take me probably a whole weekend to do and maybe 12 hours a day. So from like Friday to Sunday. Whereas now you can create a whole website in a few minutes, deploy it, and it's already hosted on a custom domain, like I've shown you with my own site today. Right? Wild stuff. People are saying it's like a DeepSeek moment. Absolutely it is. And yeah, create some nice images. This is a great thread, by the way, by Min Choi. Check it out on Twitter. Yeah, you can see people creating like these 3JS games. This is an endless runner game. Yeah, the other thing I've seen is like, look at this. This is wild too. So you got Manus controlling like 5 different laptops and coding at the same time. That is the future though. Like just autonomous agents who just go off and do their own crazy stuff. What else we got here? B2B supplier sourcing. So there's a lot of actual like practical business examples, researching the internet, GitHub project research. Yeah, this is all basic stuff, but I mean, the main thing for me would be like, using it to scale my agency. Can I create more websites and tools that collect leads? Absolutely. Can I get it to tweet on my behalf? Absolutely. Can I create full websites that actually rank on Google and send traffic to my website? Absolutely. So, I wouldn't be worried about the future, but I'd be asking myself, like, how can I adapt right now? Because things are changing and they're changing every single day. Like if you look a week ago, ChatGPT, Claude, etc., these were the top tools on the planet. And now all of a sudden Manus comes out, and in the space of like 48 hours, the whole world changes. And, there's a new top dog in town. So crazy stuff. All right. So thanks very much for watching. Like I said, the whole recipe, and I will create a new recipe as well out of the details that I've sent today. But the whole recipe is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. This comes with all my best workflows on like email automation, social media, AI agents, web automations, AI SEO automations, Q&A, call recordings. These get updated weekly. A crash course to save you hundreds of hours with AI. And on top of that, all of my best SOPs, right? So inside here, I'm going to add a new SOP for Manus, but also if you want to learn how to use open source Manus, Open Manus, okay, then all the installation instructions are in there, along with, for example, like a full course on DeepSeek. We have a 3.5-hour course on DeepSeek, loads of automations, NA10 agents, plus workflows you can download right here. Like everything you could ever want when it comes to AI is inside the AI Profit Boardroom, along with a community of 318 people that you can ask for help, who are all dedicated to growing their business and scaling with AI. And on top of that, it comes with weekly Q&As with us, right? So if you want to jump on a call with us and the community, you can jump on here and ask any questions you have, problem solve anything that you want, and just get help whenever you want it. All right, so feel free to get that. Prices are going up pretty soon, and prices will go up like I would probably say like every 50 or 100 members will probably increase the prices, just because obviously we can't have like 10,000 people in there, right? We want to help everyone. We want to make sure we give everyone the support and the help they need. So we can't have loads of people in there, which is why we're increasing the price. But yeah, feel free to get that link in the comments and description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot, feel free to get that. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building. You'll get a custom tailored plan so you can generate more leads and sales from your website. And we'll answer any questions you have one-to-one. So, you can jump on that call. And normally people will pay SEO consultants like thousands of dollars. And also, if you look at the way the world is changing, like, I'm one of the few SEOs who's embracing AI. And so if you jump on a call with our team, then you can learn from what we're learning, right? Because we're testing every day. We're in the trenches every day, like you can see, and you can ask us any questions you have. So feel free to do that. Link in the comments and description. And you also learn how to increase your SEO traffic based on what's working for us right now. So feel free to get that And also, let's come back to Manus, see if we've got the report back. If we don't, we can end it there. If we do, okay, yeah, look at that. So it's building the whole SEO directory step by step. Maybe I'll show that in a future video and get it deployed as well. But yeah, unbelievable stuff. Absolutely amazing stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it as always. See you on the next one. Bye.